Get us up to 25 to 30 miles an hour. And at the bottom of the hill, there will be a mailbox on your right, and I want you to do a panic stop. I want you to stomp on the brake hard. So very good. This bus has anti-lock brakes, and so you didn't hear any tires squealing, you don't have any smoke, and the bus stayed very, very straight in the braking process. And that's what happens with a bus that has anti-lock brakes. Very good.
School bus drivers find themselves using the brakes on the school bus on a constant basis. Brakes are considered one of the most important items for school bus safety. So ask yourself these important questions. What if the brakes fail on the school bus? What techniques can be applied when using the brakes on inclines and hills? How do you recover from a skid? And what techniques can be applied to stretch the lifespan of brakes? These questions and many more will be answered during this video on advanced braking techniques. We will also provide demonstrations of many different kinds of braking techniques that can be used to ensure a safe ride for students. Our purpose of this video is to make school bus drivers aware of how to use brakes in the safest possible manner while operating a school bus. The video will be divided into these three sections. Now let's jump right into the first section of the video, where we will discuss emergency braking techniques and how they should be applied. Every school bus driver understands the importance of personal responsibility when operating a school bus. And remember this, the job of the driver is to deliver students to and from home safely. Another key consideration is the driver must take into consideration the vehicles surrounding the bus. For example, what can a driver do if they are faced with sudden stops? What type of emergency maneuvers and techniques can be implemented if an emergency situation were to occur? This is what we're going to cover during this video. But before we get into a discussion and demonstrations of these safety issues, we want to point out that it's extremely important that you practice these emergency braking techniques in a controlled environment. That way, you will be prepared when an emergency situation takes place. And keep this in mind. Whenever you have any doubts about how to handle the braking system on your bus, go to your supervisor and get your question answered. As a school bus driver, you must realize that if an emergency does happen, your chances of avoiding an accident and keeping your passengers safe will depend upon how quickly and effectively you take action. That's worth repeating. A good driver should react accurately to a critical situation in order to avoid an accident. Stopping quickly and safely is a safety technique that drivers should practice and understand. How many times have you as a bus driver been cut off by other vehicles? And when they cut you off, you obviously had to react to it somehow, right? Here is another issue to consider. The school bus driver must understand the effect that proper steering wheel control has when braking the school bus. Here are a couple of examples. In order to stop quickly or slow the bus down rapidly in order to maneuver out of danger, both hands must be kept on the steering wheel at all times. Here is a heads up when it comes to emergency braking. You should always try to brake in a straight line. Making sure the bus stays in a straight line will allow the driver to maintain better control of the bus.